All right, what's happening, everybody? It's me, Robert Phoenix. Welcome to another day. It is the 5th of March, and it is the birthday of the lovely and talented one. That's right. If I had a sound effect, I'd play it right now. But she turns 35 today. So, yeah. Happy birthday. And many, 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 many more. Healthy, wealthy, and wiser all the time. So there you go. As an astrophile, I can remember any birthday. Damn, I bet you could. Let me make sure my mic is doing what it needs to do. There we go. It'll do what it needs to do even better now. Okay. Let's see. Who do we have here today? I feel like I've been neglecting you the last couple days because I've been running late. Let's see. Who do we have? At 12:11 a.m., we had DJ MC, Michael Sisterino, California Contrarian is amongst us. YouTube put this up for a bit and then took it down completely from the feed. And then go to your channel again to find it again. That's YouTube. Par for the course. I don't know. I don't know what the benefit. What is the benefit of even like having me do my show on? I mean, what? It's weird. It's like if you don't want my show, just fucking shut it down. YouTube. Well, you tried that before. It didn't work out as well as you thought it would. It's so passive aggressive. YouTube is passive aggressive. YouTube is one of your passive aggressive friends, but you kind of have to depend on that friend. Like it's the friend that you carpool with every day. And you kind of need the carpool because if you just drove your car all the time, you'd put all the mileage on it. And, 4 days out of the week, you don't have to stress. But it's your friend in the carpool that you depend on who's passive aggressive. It's your friend in the carpool who gaslights you. That's who YouTube is. All right. New next. What's up? Julie Sunshine. I like how Sir Robert flies through his Chattara. He gets on with business. I don't need a constant assurance that he loves and appreciates me. Well, I do that. For me, it's not about. It's about you. It's about me. It's about us. I can't get away from it. I can't quit you. And Boof is here. Sekar, hey, what's up? Jerry, hi Jerry. Misbehaving too. We're doing well. There's Amy. Centaur Truther. Good to see you. David Flores, what's up? The cat comes back the very next day. That cat came back the very next day. Let's see. We got Jam Chloe. What's up, Jam Chloe? Jackie Delario. A foggy day in Margate Town. It was a foggy day in Margate Town. Mrs. Whistler went to her mailbox like she always did. Every day, the mailbox near the end of the road, but something was different that day. Something she couldn't quite put her finger on or explain. Hanging Laundry, what's up? Casey Gypsy Muse. Quite the Pisces Queen. That is from Roxy Music. And that is I believe that is the first cover of Roxy Music And that woman is Jerry Hall, who was a model at the time and would wind up marrying Mick Jagger. Jerry Hall from Texas. Privacy Anti-Scum. Nice, peaceful morning. So I've looked at my phone. There you go. The phones. Teresa, Pisces crab. We're in the Cancer decan. I can be crabby. You can. Let's see. We got Steve here. Is a thumbnail picture of Nish. Nish Wish. Nish Wish. It was a picture of Nish. But Katie Lane. I love this album. There we go. And she's a Pisces with Venus in there, Mercury. Love is the drug. There you go. Let's see. Dave Sullivan's here. Hi, Dave. President, I'm a single Virgo. Oh, we got a hookup. We got a hookup in Chattaria. There's PB1. There's the lovely and talented one. There's the great Neil Smith. He's with us. Janine. Hi, Janine. PMSO. Rosie Posey. I'm not longer Jam Chloe, which my daughter did almost 20 years ago. Okay, so now Jam Chloe has been replaced by Rosie Posey for you too. Got to keep up on these handles. The photo is the Roxy Music album cover. Hanging. The fins on her ankles. It's like I don't know. Is that a Submariner had fins on his ankles too? Let's see. Who else? The bee suit is here. Liddy Lou. Gearing up for some spring weather. It threatens rain here. Threatens rain, but we don't get it. Apparently, Fredericksburg got pelted yesterday. Let's see. We got Beth Berry. Hey, Beth. Maya Rose. Maya Rose, or Knight of Cups. We got Julianne Ross. We got Ms. Behaving too. Jay Schaefer. Jay, I'll call you back. Jay called me yesterday. I was in the midst of a reading. Robert, I just watched Steve Allen with Neil Sedaka. I feel like Steve Allen must be your long lost uncle. Steve Allen was really talented. He was the first host of the Tonight Show, if I'm not mistaken. And then he was replaced by Jack Parr, who was replaced by Johnny Carson. And Steve was really talented. He was a great pianist, more talented than me, trust me. Pianist, novelist, funny man. Steve Allen was Steve Allen was the real deal. The real deal, just chocolate talent. Let's see. Brian Scott. Hey, Brian. How do I schedule a reading? You go to my website and you can do that there, Brian. And there's instructions to get a hold of me. Let's see. Georgia Ruth checking in from her busy schedule. If you're, let's say if you're in Texas, you want to get in shape, Georgia Ruth is your person. Let's see. We have Diane. Hi, Diane. Lots of rain. And aloha from New York. Makeda Sola Shiba. Look who we have here. Ratchet Boo. They're trying to make us believe they aren't doing it on purpose. That's always been the case, Dave. Let's see. Lady Lou's having a happy hour for her neighbor's birthday. I like that. Lisa Ann White's here. Hi, Lisa. Minglin. Hi, Minglin. YouTube has been weird of late, right? I know. Roxy Music's fifth album. Thank you, Sakar. That's the fifth album. Let's get on the page. The fifth album. Siren, thank you. It's a little early for me. Lamb Chop. Hi, Lamb Chop. GC McCarthy, there he is. Mr. Mark, good morning. Been listening to Fakeologist for first time. Robert mentioned him once. I don't know who's the Fakeologist. Let's see. Send for reading. I'll try to get contact Diane. Did you? I'm going to go through Quo. I thought I saw your name in there. Today I will endeavor to dig into my my past requests, so you will be right at the top of the list, Diane. We got Scrubbies in the house. Hi, Scrubbies. Okay, I think we're just about all present counted for. I will prioritize you, Diane. Okay, here we go. Let's get into the weather. All right. That's so funny. This is a funny, just a funny little thing. A funny little thing. Okay. All right, we're going to get rid of that. Remove. Okay, there we go. Let's try that. Ah, much better. Much better. There we are. That's us. How's everybody doing this? Mars in Pisces, the turgid. Mars in Pisces, one moment placid, next moment turgid. I love that word, turgid. Titanic. Mars in Pisces rises up like some titanic force. And as soon as it has expelled its energy, it returns to its placid state, only to be recharged one more time. And then whoosh, there it is again. Mars in Pisces. How's everybody doing with it? I got called out yesterday for drinking a corporate water. I thought that was very funny. I was drinking this sparkling water from Mexico, which it's a water I discovered 2 years ago before the corporate masters took over and privatized everything. Pepsi did a deal with this water company, Tehuacan from Mexico. I was enjoying a Tehuacan water, and I called out on it. Felt terrible. Oh my God! I need to change my water. It was a very Mars Mercury retrograde kind of moment thing. It was interesting, very interesting. People are going to be a bit touchy with this Mars. Yeah, I've been sampling. I've been sampling a few astrologers talking about this Mars and Pisces, and basically the gist is that you want to stay away from Piscean people with this Mars and Pisces and everything going on. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. It turns people into astrological lepers. Stay away from Pisces this month. No, you have to find the sweet spot for Mars. Now, Mars is going to be in a much closer relationship with the true node, and we've got Pallas in Pisces, which is really psychic. So if you have, and it doesn't matter what your sign is, Pisces is going to show up somewhere in your chart. And Pallas is very psychic, right? It's in Pisces, it's super psychic. It is premonitory. And so if you have a premonition, what do you, and it's something that it can become actionable, then you want to have Mars kind of backing it up, right? You want to have Mars backing it up so that you can take action on the premonition. You don't want to have I could have had a V8 moment. I've never had clamato. I almost said something bad. I almost said I've never had chlamydia either. But, and by the way, if you've had chlamydia, I don't judge you. Okay? Because somebody out there I know has had chlamydia, and it's okay. We've all had something at some point. So this is not about a chlamydia judgment moment. All right. It's just I've never had a clamato. Because I went from V8 to clamato to chlamydia. There's a song in there somewhere. Anyway, you don't want to have that. I could have had a V8 moment. Because that's what Pallas and Mars and even the true node, which in some ways is actionable, like that's where you want to go. And where it gets tricky, like I think some houses are more navigable than others with some of these aspects. I do like third house. If you have more Pisces in the third house, mutable, right? You can take action. And it's like, okay, well, if I fuck up, I might be able to get a do-over. Because that's kind of how the third house is. That's how Geminis operate. Well, if I fuck up, I might be able to get a do-over. But when it's in something like the fourth house and it's, you're dealing with like Cancerian values and all the things that go along with the fourth house, sometimes things aren't actual, unless, of course, it has to do with something around your home. In which case, you should probably listen to your premonition and make it actionable. Like, geez, maybe I should check my pipes. 10th house, those are big decisions, right? Those are very big decisions. But this is kind of how this is lining up. And the nodes they're an expression of the moon. And the true node in Pisces, right? We know that lunar expression is intuitive. And so the true node in Pisces, the whole idea of the true node in Pisces has been to lead us into more sort of intuitive, psychic, internally guided perceptions. Because on the other side of it, we have Virgo, which is all about rationality and logic and reason. And in the whole idea with the true node and the journey of the nodes is we all move there. We all migrate there. It's like a watering hole. And so it's interesting because when does reason come in and when do we, because sometimes you know what I mean. You know what I'm going to talk about. There are times when people will say something online or post something online and it just sounds fucking ridiculous. And it's like, maybe you should use a little more of your logical faculties. Maybe that would be a good thing to do. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. Right? But it's weird because with the true node in Pisces, we're kind of the current is taking us in that direction, and it's getting stronger because, now we're in that first decan of the true node. So it's very Piscean. It's pure. This is like pure water, pure ancient water. And do we throw reason and rationality out the door? I would say not completely. I think, it should be used right now, South Node and Virgo. Again, very, very Virgoan. But it should be used to sort of validate, verify, fact check. But it's like we're not supposed to be leading with Virgo. We haven't for the last 18 months, 17 and a half months, we needed to lead with Pisces. And that's a journey for people that is like tricky because the data is unverifiable. I mean, even if we look at like what's going on, like the war, to me, I guess we're going to start to call it the war. We've got Neptune and Aries, and it's the fog of war, and we get footage, and there are things that we receive that appear to be images of war, and I'm sure there's shit going down, right? But it's really hard to at times validate it. I mean, back in the day, we used to have foreign correspondents, war correspondents, and they would be, kind of boots on the ground. I remember even when the Gulf War I broke out, CNN was there. They had people embedded. Eventually, I began to notice that they were there and embedded to control the message. That was a real wake-up call. I'll never forget, they did a feature on this story. They're like 3 days into this thing, right? And they did a feature on this guy who happened to be black. And I think he was from New York or someplace like that. And he brought his saxophone to the fucking war. And he was like this voice of conscience. And he was like asking himself, why, sometimes I ask myself, why are we here? What are we doing? I'm like, I can't believe they're fucking playing this. Like, this guy is like, he's got this conscience. And then they have him on this sand dune and he's playing his saxophone. And I have to admit, like, it's kind of cool. Like, it's sort of like, I don't know, Sonny Rollins, in Fatigues, much younger version of Sonny Rollins in Fatigues, plaintively wailing over a sand dune just before he's about to go out and kill somebody. And that's how they end this interview, right? This guy on his saxophone on a sand dune. And I bet you they're just high-fiving each other. Oh my God. Did you just see that? How poetic was that? That was like a movie shot. I saw that earlier in the day, and then they replayed the interview later that night, and I couldn't wait to hear his take on the war again. And they had edited it out. They chopped it up, but they left the guy with the sax on the sand dune part. And that's why CNN was there. They were there to control the message. They were there to control the message. You didn't get that in Vietnam. You had these guys running around with, they're in there with Charlie Company. I watched that as a kid. Holy shit. How come that dude's not wearing a helmet? But we don't know. And we get second, third-hand reports. It's the fog of war. But this is the mission of the true node. And the whole idea behind the nodes, right? This is one of the things that I talk about is how the South Node is so familiar because we've lived it, we've been there, it's embedded in us. It's like the past life, right? But the true node is the undiscovered country. So in the natal chart, it's harder for people to move towards their nodes because it's uncomfortable territory. And once you get there, it's like, oh shit, what took me so long? But the same thing applies with the transiting node. It's like, this feels really uncomfortable. But it's a way for us to continue to stretch and learn and grow because that's the direction that we need to be moving towards. And in Pisces, it is not logical. It is not rational. And I guess you can make a case that, well, yeah, this war is not logical. It's not rational. Well, if you go down a few levels and you understand the players, you can understand why on a logical or rational level it's happening. But it's an interesting time for a war because, excuse me, makes an adjustment off camera. Because and you're going to see this more and more, is that you're going to have people who are going to be very emotional about what's going on, which is the true node in Pisces, along with Mars and Pisces and all this other Pisces. And their emotionality will be like, well, why are we here? What the fuck are we doing? Because Pisces is a polarizing sign. It is a sign that is related to duality. Anybody got a cough drop in there? Can you pass me a Ricola? The sign itself is dual, right? We have this part over here, this part over here. And even when you look at it, it's fishes swimming in opposite directions. So you have one faction that is pro-war, and then you have this other faction which is anti-war. And it's going to get really emotional for people. Do you see and even last night, you guys see that guy, the Marine, who went to, I guess it was a his congressman was having some kind of a meeting, public meeting. And this Marine, which is very Piscean, right? The word Marine is in there for a reason. And he wore his Marine uniform and he was protesting the war. Basically said, we don't want to go to war for Israel. I'll play it over on 15 today. And it took like 5 or 6 guys to get him out. Like, that's not the way you handle it. And you had, I think it was a senator. It was a senator. I forget who the senator was. And he got booed afterwards. This is where this thing is going. It is going to tear our country apart. You see, that's the fishes swimming in opposite directions. It is the duality of Pisces. And the way that you handle a situation like that, because he's in his uniform and he's yelling, we don't want to go to war for Israel. No more wars for Israel. Well, they couldn't have him in there. Let's get him the fuck out. Takes 5 guys, gets his hand stuck in those accordion doors, and they can't get his hand out. Probably broke his fucking hand. It's not how you handle it. You handle it by saying, First of all, sir, I want to say that I want to thank you for your service. And because of your service, passionately you feel about what's going on, I'm going to give you, usually when you go up to these meetings, you get 3 minutes of time. That's it. That's it. You get 3 minutes. And he could have said, I'm going to move you right to the front of the line, and I'm going to give you 3 minutes on this mic because I may not agree with your position, but we're all Americans. And you, sir, have served our country, so bring him to the front. The mic is yours. And you give the guy 3 minutes, and you let him say his thing, right? And then you can come back and say, you know, I fully embrace this man's passion, and well, that sounds a little weird. I understand his point of view. My point of view is different. It's based on our presence in the Middle East and how we have to somehow make sure that we can still have a presence there without jeopardizing all these relationships. And it's very complicated, and we're doing the best we can given the circumstances. And you know, as your senator, yes, I will do my absolute best to be a voice for bringing this war to a rapid conclusion. It's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. No, instead, you turn the guy into a martyr. And that's okay, right? But I think it was interesting. It's like, maybe I should just play it for you guys, because some of you don't come over to 15, and that's okay. I don't take it personally. Let me see if I can find this thing. Yeah, here it is. And this is, you want to see Mars and Pisces right here? This is it. Oh, shit. Okay, hold on. I wasn't planning on playing this. Here it is. Okay, so here we go. This is, I'm going to play this for you. This is Mars and Pisces right here. Okay. And it's Veterans for Peace. Let me just stop sharing this for a second. I'm going to play this for you because this really is an illustration of Mars and Pisces right here. I just have to find it. Hold on. No, it's not there. Okay. All right, which one of my many tabs that I have open? Let's see. No, not that, not that. All right, here it is right here. Okay. So keep your eyes on this right here. All right. And watch what happens. Here we go, right there. All right, I'm going to try to make it bigger.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders. This is wrong. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
A reminder to all our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America.
Gets his hand caught here. You see this?
No one wants to fight for Israel.
Because he doesn't want to get taken. That's the senator right here.
Sir, thank you for your service.
The senator broke his hand. The senator broke his hand.
He's a Marine. Somebody come help him.
Control your Senate committee.
Look at you guys. You're robots. You won't even look back. Look at you guys. You're like robots. Oh my God. What is
So this is the Senate. This is the U.S. Senate right here.
happening? And you're not even looking back. Any of you four-star generals. Oh my God. What is happening right now? Eyes front, robots.
This is where the Senate blocked the House, I believe, and their War Powers Act because they wanted to make Trump accountable for the war. Like you have to declare war. All that changed post 9/11. But look at what's happening.
Shame. Shame. Oh my God, you guys.
Everybody sit down.
What did I just see? I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
Oh my God, what is
That's all.
happening?
Okay, good. No, it's not.
Oh my God.
Stuck.
It's disgusting.
Oh my God, you guys.
Sorry, is that hair? Can you open it up a little bit just to like change the gap?
They fucked up his hand. So apparently this guy is pro-Palestinian. He has a right to be. Right? He has a right to be pro-Palestinian. I don't know if he's a Muslim or not, but he's pro-Palestinian. He wears the kaffa, whatever they call it. But that's your Mars right there in Aries. I'm sorry, Pisces. That's your Mars in Pisces. You want to see something that's astrologically relevant? It's right there. Right there. Order followers are robotic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. But Iran wanted this war the whole their time. I don't know. I don't know if we really know the full story. I love you, Steve. It's the fog of war. And Iran is going to win the war. They're going to win it. Israel is taking way more casualties and losses than Iran is right now. And Iran, if you want to get the skinny on the war, and this is what I'm talking about, like this is going to divide us as a country. And I'm going to talk about that over on 15 minutes. Like, there's an aspect of this, which is like the war at home. And the war at home is the war of ideology and the war of perspective. It's war and peace. And Pisces is a sign that theoretically is placid and peaceful, but that's not always the case. Pisces is like the ocean, and the ocean sometimes is violent. It's an interesting time to go to war, and people's emotions are going to be completely riled by what's going on. But I thought that was an interesting Mars area, Pisces. I always say Aries, he's a soldier. Mars and Pisces sort of teaching moment right there. What else we have here today? We got the moon in Libra. And it is opposing Neptune and Saturn. This is an interesting opposition. I believe this is the first Libra moon since Neptune and Saturn have decided to join forces in Aries. Pretty sure about that. First Libra moon opposition. Yeah, I mean, I think we just kind of saw some of that in that video clip, right? Saturn, Neptune, Aries war, right? And then Moon and Libra on the other side, peace. Mars versus Venus. And I think just in general, today's goal is to try to find balance in the midst of everything that's going on. And it's real easy to allow external events to seep into our lives. And they are going to seep into our lives. The longer, Trump said, oh, we'll be there for 4 days, 4 weeks. Now they're saying 8 weeks. Somewhere in that 8-week schedule, they're going to say that we're probably going to be here a lot longer than we thought we were. And the longer that we're there, and this is, I don't want to turn this into a discussion about the war, but it does involve a lot of what we're seeing in Pisces, right? Gas, oil, the Straits of Hormuz, the Suez Canal, all these waterways, the inlets to the outlet, which is ultimately the Atlantic Ocean, and that all these, barges with all this oil, and in the case of, I believe, Qatar, liquid natural gas, LNG, it all flows out of there. It's all very Piscean, and it is going to affect our lives. Like one of the things that Qatar has now cut off, or I believe it's Bahrain. They have cut off the LNG to Europe. In Europe, unless Europe gets, and Europe was already getting their fuel from Russia through that Nord Stream pipeline. They blew that shit up, right? And so Russia started to sell its LNG and its petroleum to India, and India became a broker to sell it to Europe. And the Europeans had to pay higher prices because they had a third party. But I think it's like things got weird with Trump and India and tariffs, and the oil thing was kind of an issue, right? And so now Europe now has another supply cut off. What are they going to do? And this is, we're in a real miasma here, because now Turkey is being baited into this whole thing. And it's not just going to be a Iran, Israel beef. It is going to be a big regional beef. And Turkey is a NATO country. And what does that mean? NATO countries are like, the Justice League. You got to go help the other member, right? And England has been, we're not sure we want to get involved. But the U.S. has had to use English base. I think Starmer pushed back on Trump, and Trump said, "You're no Churchill." Like Churchill was anything fucking great. My apologies to any English who have any allegiance towards Churchill. But this is a real problem for economically. It's going to be, we haven't seen anything yet. The longer this goes on, the more that the military industrial complex companies make huge money, the more their stock prices go up, the more their investors and the people on the board go, oh my God, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Right? But it has an effect. So what happens if NATO gets involved in the war. And this is what's happening. They're trying to draw all these different constituents into this conflict. Well, if you're, let's say, France or England, France always tries to be neutral, and you have a population that has millions of Muslims amongst you, and you go to war against said Muslims, what does that do to whatever is going on in your country? Those countries will burn. This is crazy, right? I mean, the midterm consequences. I mean, we're just at the beginning of this thing, but if it continues to foment and get worse and becomes this embattled area, it will have consequences on all of our lives. Economically, the United States, once it's pot committed, it's not pot committed yet, but it's close to it. Like, the United States cannot lose the war now. They can't lose the war. Because if you lose the war, you lose this position of power and the unipolar sort of dictating force of the last 60 years, 70 years, post-World War II. If the United States does not somehow either broker a peace deal or put Humpty Dumpty back together again, it will be considered a defeat. And it's not good for the country. So I'm talking about it in this way, and you may not agree with me, and that's fine. But I'm talking about it in this way because the moon in Libra is basically saying, hey, you got to figure out how to balance all this shit. And it's directly opposite Saturn, Neptune. So you got to figure out how to balance it. And for each of us, that's going to be an individual choice, an individual series of choices and actions, and how do we stay sane? And when we see stuff like that I just showed you, right, it's going to kind of trigger you, set you off. Moon in Libra. How do you balance it? Because we can't just crawl in a hole. You know, these nodes are going to shift. You know, they're going to shift this year. The true node's going to go into Aquarius. South node's going to go into Leo. And man, true node in Aquarius is the internet. It's the media. It's large groups of people. It's revolution. It's disruption. The South Node in Leo is order. It's the old world. It's the old way, right? And something's got to give here. You know, I saw this video yesterday. I was cruising through IG, and I was having the time of my life yesterday. And there was this guy sitting in his truck, American, big dude, baseball cap tatted up. And he's basically saying, you know, when the fuck are we going to wake up? We, meaning the younger generation. He said, we got all these old fucks running everything, and they're making shitty decisions for us. And it's like we outnumber them, and we're way stronger than they are. And it's like, oh, isn't that interesting? This is a very interesting video, because there's a time when the young lion grows up, and the old lion is one of the saddest things to see, is the old male lion, which is going to transition into our star of the day here really quickly. The old male lion cannot defend himself against the young lion. And there's a battle. And invariably the old lion will win, and eventually loses. And then the old lion leaves the pride. He leaves the pride and goes off into the Serengeti plain to go die. Because he's no longer the king. And I'm telling you, this South Node in Leo, the people who have been in charge, right? The kings of the world, the elite, they're starting to fall. They are starting to fall. And then there's going to be this 100th monkey effect, this domino effect. And whether it's Gen Z or the millennials, probably the millennials, they're gonna sniff the vulnerability of the older generation. I watched Bill Clinton's testimony a little bit. It was really pathetic. And maybe that was part of his act to look pathetic. Or maybe he's just pathetic. I think he's just pathetic. That's what I'm talking about. Like these guys, their days are numbered. And even the younger guys, like, do you think Marco Rubio really gives a shit about Trump? No. Marco Rubio is one of these young guys. He's like, I have to be around this old fuck all the time. And I've got to go all over the world and be his water boy. Oh, just wait. Just wait. My time is coming. My time is coming. He's on the clock. I'm around him. I know it. I see it. My time is coming. Right? This is what we're talking about here. It's a major, major shift in the balance of power. Major. And right now, we're in this place where it's very liquid and very fluid. Situations are fluid. But you've got to find, today is a day. You got to find a way to balance everything. Balance the information, balance the doom scrolling. You know, have a little humor in your life. Doesn't mean you stick your head in the sand. You just find a way to balance it all out. Today is one of those days. I think it's a good day to be generous too. Man, we're almost out of time. All right, let's just do a quick start of the day. And I did not follow this guy or anytime he says, "Hey, did you see this?" I probably should have watched it, but I don't have Netflix either. But it's Joe Exotic. Talk about Leo, right? Dude's got Mars and Leo. Mars and Leo, and he got into this beef, right, with this other lady. You know, they have these places in Florida where these guys get to keep these big cats, and he got into this beef with this other tiger woman, and it got personal. And there was like murder plots involved and all this shit. And the guy's in prison now. And he's got, I'll tell you what, first of all, he's a very sensitive fellow. He has a sun conjunct Chiron in Pisces. Very sensitive fellow. He's a strange combination of being brash and like the mullet just screams Mars and Leo, right? Very brash. And he's got that Mars Trudeau conjunction. He's complicated, but he's also like very sensitive. And what's interesting is that his moon is in the 10th house, and he got into a beef with what? A woman who was in the same world, 10th house world that he was in, and his life became displayed on screens across America, and it was scandalous. That's the moon in the 10th house. It can be scandalous. And this is a guy who would probably take things very personally. He's got a very strange combination of taking things personally because of the Chiron Sun conjunction. It also makes him highly sensitive. but it's also very subjective. But at the same time, he's got a lot of bravado. It's a very interesting blend between the two. And he's got the opposition between his sun and Pluto, and there's that weird kind of murder plot with, it's just strange, right? I don't know a ton about it, but I can see that he's a complex character in general. And he's got that, and everything is kind of like off. Like Mars is in Leo, but the true node is in Cancer. Venus is in Aquarius, but the south node is in Capricorn. And I think he's gay, isn't he? I think he's gay. That's what I've heard. Not that it really matters, but Venus in Aquarius is kind of fluid, right? It's very, Venus in Aquarius is very, I wouldn't say it's androgyne, but it's usually choosing, because Aquarius operates in like the opposite mode, right? So, I'm supposed to be with women. Let me be with men. That's how Venus in Aquarius can work. Not everybody does it that way. I'm just telling you, it can work that way. Right? It's like, bi-curious. There's that, right? There's that part of him. And it's weird though, right? Because the South Node is in Capricorn. And he's trying to work. I mean, I think he lived in his tiger compound. He's trying to work out of his home. I don't think it worked out too well for Joe Exotic. I think he's in prison, right? But I was really struck by Mars and Leo and how this guy works with big cats. And he's got Mars in the 10th house, and how he can be both very sensitive and take things really personally. And the 5th house, like, this is a hobby. I'm sorry. It's a hobby. It's a pastime. It is. Like, and I'm sure that, he's got Jupiter in the 6th house, big, animals, 6th house, Jupiter, big animals, right? And I'm sure it started off, hey, I'd really like to have a tiger when I grow up. I really love tigers. It's a passion. It's a hobby. He turned it in, that's his 5th house. But he tried to run a business out of his home. I'm sure it worked for a while until he got into beef with the other lady. I don't know much about their story. I just know a little bit about the story. But I can see the chart. I can see the person in the chart. And he's very complex. He's a really complex character, which is why I think that it made such compelling TV, from what I understand. Okay, there you go. We're out of here. And I'm late. I'm late for the other show, where I can rant and roll. And by the way, this has been brought to you by True Hemp Science. Go there, truehempscience.com. Spend $100 more. Type in 15MINS. You'll get the vaunted goodie bag. And this is just one part of the goodie bag right here. Starlight. Might be a good time of the year to load up on some THS products. Just saying. All right. Thanks for being here. We'll be back tomorrow with our good friend Russ Winter, whom I'm sure will have plenty to share with us about the ongoing war. Take care. Love you all. Stay balanced. Bye for now.